Hello and welcome to another video. Today I wanted to do a simple repotting project. It seems to be something I get asked about the most, especially at my job, and it's fairly simple, but there are some really key things that you need to do. So the one I wanted to do is this cute little succulent. I'm gonna butcher the name. It's Othonna ruby necklace. Cute little succulent that I got at the West Seattle nursery, and it's taken me a long time to want to put this in a container because I've been very picky about what I wanted it to look like. I didn't want it to be too tall. So you can see that these two are about the same height, except this one's going to be much wider, and that's what I wanted. I wanted for this plant to have more width. So I went ahead and I set it in here. It's a nice 2-inch about diameter around. I'm going to show you. And I think that's going to have a really nice spill effect. I don't normally do a lot of potting into decorative containers because I like to monitor the root system, but I feel good about doing it with this because it is a succulent and they don't need to be repotted that often, but this one really needs it. So I'm going to show you what it looks like here. So I'm going to take my hand on the top, dumping it upside down. So we've got a massive root system, a lot of coiled roots around, and he's ready. He's ready for a new home. So I'm going to stick this back in here for now, and I'm going to prep my pot. While I'm doing this, I'm going to be losing a lot of these, so I don't want to be handling it too much. So to start the pot, I've got a huge drainage hole right here. And what I do with that, so I don't lose a lot of medium while I'm working, is I take a small piece of paper towel and just stick it down here at the bottom. Okay, just to cover up the hole. And I can puncture a hole through that later if I want. So to start the drainage, I'm going to be using my orchid mix just to cover the bottom. This is going to be a really well draining, chunky mix because I don't want to be worried about roots sitting in too much water. So a couple scoops to cover up the bottom, and I think that looks pretty good. Oops, sorry guys, like that. So for each layer, I am going to pre-moisten. This is just normal water, just to wet the soil down to get it ready for the new plant. Now I'm going to use some cactus mix, just some normal chunky cactus mix, and I'm going to make another layer to cover up the orchid bark. Okay, a couple scoops and spray. And this also helps so I can make a kind of well to set the plant in. So I just take a spoon and I push the soil to the side. And I'm making a well for the plant. And I'll show you what that looks like. Hold on. So I just kind of push the soil up the sides. So now we're going to see how the plant fits. Oh, you're up a little high. There you go. Okay, so again, I'm going to pop it out. And I want to see where this sits in here. Okay, just got some old fertilizer balls on there. Okay, I'm going to tip this over. And I think that's a pretty good fit, but since I am going to be roughing up the roots a little bit, I'm probably going to need to put more soil in. So at this point, I'm going to hold the plant very carefully by the root system, and I'm going to start pulling the stuff away, loosening up the roots and giving them a heads up. Hey, we're going into a new container. Yay! Kind of get underneath in the middle not too aggressive, but those coiled roots aren't going to really find their way out of here without a little bit of help. So I'm just pulling them apart. It's so fun. And it's going into the bowl here, which is fine because it's the medium it was growing in, and it was obviously very happy in that. We're just going to be introducing it to some new medium. It's going to be in here for a long time, you guys. This is a pretty big pot size for a succulent. So I'm excited that I finally found a container that I like. By the way, Rite Aid containers. They're always half off. I paid $5 for this. Okay. So that sits in there pretty nicely. Okay. And now I'm going to pull the little strings out where I want them to sit. Okay. Get them all out and hanging over. This is going to be so pretty when it's all full. I'm going to pull my camera down a little bit there. Too far down, sorry. I'm still a little new at this. Okay. So I have my little trellises out. And now I've got these, this gap around the bowl. So I'm just going to take my spoon and I'm going to start filling it in with cactus mix. I'm going to switch to a bigger scoop. So there is to it. You don't want to jump up too big of a size. A 2-inch around diameter is generally the rule when you're up potting anything. Because if you put too much medium soil around a plant, that's going to hold a lot more moisture. And more moisture around a plant that doesn't have a lot of roots is going to run the chance of root rot. So I won't need to water this hardly, but once a month or less. So that'll be kind of nice. I can just sit and watch it grow. I'm going to shuffle this around, and each time I get a nice layer, I'm going to pre-moisten it. That way it's a thorough watering. I'm not drenching it. I won't need to water it after this. I'm just going to spray as I go. Okay. I'm going to keep going. Sometimes I do blend soils, but for these kinds of things, I'm really confident in this cactus mix. I do like to generally top dress with orchid bark because I think it looks nice, but I probably won't do that for here since this plant's gonna just cover it up anyways. So I'm not going to top dress. I'm just going to use succulent soil without. And what you won't see me doing is packing it down. I'm not pushing the soil down because that would suffocate the roots. What's more important, air or water to roots? The answer is air. That's why you see people using or talking about like well draining or porous mixes. The roots need to be able to move around. So if you come across one of your plants and it feels really hard and chunky, you could always just take a skewer or a butter knife and kind of stab around the pot to aerate the soil, because in nature that's what worms and stuff do. So the roots have more avenues to grow. So get some air to your roots. They will thank you for it. I can't wait to watch this grow in. I don't really know how fast these grow. I do have new growth here. They're just these tiny little things. So I hope they get more plump. I've never had this plant before. I've had it for a couple of months and it's just kind of been pretty. So it doesn't seem like it's been very picky, which is nice. Well, that's pretty much it. I'm always open to questions if you want to ask me anything about a potting up process. I'm going to continue to fill this in on my own time. I just wanted to show you what I do for repotting. And it's going to look super cute when it's all done. Thank you so much for watching.